A single question can cost you more than a mistake, not because of what it asks, but because of what your answer gives away. It sounds simple, normal, something you've answered your entire life without hesitation. But this time, it isn't harmless, because some questions are not asked to understand you, they're asked to expose you. The moment you respond, you reveal direction, you reveal patterns, you reveal how you think, what you value and where you hesitate. Small details, but together, they create a map. And once that map exists, control shifts. You won't see it happen. There's no warning, no signal, no obvious threat. It feels like conversation. It feels natural. That's why it works. Machiavelli built his thinking on one brutal principle. The one who reveals less holds power, not through silence alone, but through control of what becomes known and what stays hidden. Most people do the opposite. They answer quickly, explain fully, and give away more than the situation requires. And every answer makes them easier to read. In this video, you'll see the 5 questions that seem ordinary, but quietly strip away your position the moment you respond. You'll understand why answering them weakens you, how silence changes the dynamic, and what to do instead when you're put in that position. Watch carefully, because once you recognize these traps, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Number 1, the intention trap. Why simple questions are never just questions. A question lands, and you answer without thinking. It feels normal, casual, harmless. But the moment you respond, something shifts that you don't see, because the question was never just about the words. It was about what your answer reveals. People don't ask only to know, they ask to position themselves. The way you respond tells them how you think, what you prioritize, how confident you are, where you hesitate, what you avoid. All of that is extracted in seconds, without you realizing it's happening. That's the trap. It hides behind simplicity. Where do you see yourself going? What do you really want? Why did you do that? On the surface, these look like normal conversation. Underneath, they are tools. Each one is designed to pull something out of you that you wouldn't give directly. And once it's out, it can be used. Machiavelli built his thinking on one brutal truth. The one who reveals less holds more power. Not because silence is mysterious, but because information creates leverage. The more someone knows about you, the easier it becomes to predict your behavior. And predictability is control. Watch how quickly this happens. You answer openly. You explain your thinking. You justify your actions. In your mind, you're being honest, transparent, even confident. But from the other side, something else is forming, a pattern. They start seeing how you react under pressure. They notice what triggers explanation, what makes you defensive, what makes you uncertain. They connect small details into a bigger picture of who you are. Now they don't need to guess anymore. They can anticipate. That's where the real shift happens. Because once someone can anticipate you, they can position themselves ahead of you. They can guide conversations, create pressure points, or steer outcomes in directions that benefit them, all from answers you thought were harmless. Most people never realize they're giving away this level of access. They treat every question as neutral, every conversation as equal. It isn't. Some questions are placed deliberately, not to understand you, but to extract you. The man who sees this plays differently. He doesn't rush to respond. He doesn't feel the need to fill silence. He understands that not every question deserves an answer, and not every answer should be complete. He controls what is revealed and what stays hidden. Because once you understand that questions are tools, you stop answering automatically. You start deciding what the other person is allowed to know. Number 2, the loyalty test. The question that forces you to reveal your side. The question is framed in a way that feels neutral, but it isn't. It carries pressure without showing it. Someone brings up a situation, a conflict or a person, then turns to you for your view. There's no urgency in their tone, no sign that anything important is at stake. It feels like a casual exchange, something you can answer without thinking twice. But the moment you respond, you've already stepped into a position. That's where the trap locks in. Questions built around loyalty are not about curiosity. They are about placement. Once you speak, your stance becomes visible. Not just what you think, but where you stand when lines are drawn and choices become unavoidable. And once that is known, your flexibility disappears. Who do you think handled it better? Would you support that decision? What's your honest opinion about him? Each one looks harmless, yet each one is designed to pull you into alignment. You're not just answering. You're committing yourself to a position that can be tracked, remembered, and later used against you when the situation shifts. Niccolò Machiavelli placed immense importance on positioning. The moment your alignment is exposed, others no longer need to guess your direction. They can calculate it with increasing accuracy, building a clear expectation of how you will react under pressure. And calculation creates advantage, because once someone knows where you stand, they can anticipate how you'll respond when similar situations appear again. Your behavior becomes easier to map, easier to influence, and easier to contain within predictable boundaries. That pattern limits your movement more than you realize. If circumstances change later, your previous answer does not disappear. It remains as a reference point. It can be brought back, used to corner you or force consistency when adaptability would have given you more control. Now your own words are restricting you. This is where most people lose control without noticing it. They feel the need to answer clearly, to show honesty, to prove they have a stance. Silence feels uncomfortable, like avoidance or weakness, and that discomfort pushes them to speak. But that pressure is intentional. The question is designed to extract alignment from you. The man who understands this does not rush to take a side. He recognizes when a question is trying to anchor him in place. Instead of giving a direct answer, he keeps his position fluid and undefined, because when your stance cannot be clearly identified, your next move remains impossible to predict. Comments stay unreadable, and subscribe if you're done giving away control. Number 3, the weakness probe. How they get you to expose your insecurities. It doesn't sound aggressive. In fact, it often sounds supportive. A question comes in softly, almost like concern. The tone is calm, the wording is careful, and the intent appears harmless. It feels like someone is trying to understand you, maybe even help you. But that's exactly why it works. Because the more comfortable you feel, the more you open up. And once you open up, something valuable is exposed. Questions designed to find weakness are never direct. They don't ask, "What are you insecure about?" They circle around it. They guide you toward talking about stress, doubts, struggles, past failures, things that didn't go as planned. It feels like normal conversation, but every detail you share is being stored, not necessarily with bad intent in the moment, but with future value. Do you ever feel like you're not where you should be? What's been holding you back lately? What's something you struggle with more than others? Each one sounds reflective, almost thoughtful, yet each one is extracting something specific. Your weak points. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that knowing where a man is vulnerable is more valuable than knowing where he is strong. Strength is visible. Weakness is hidden until it is revealed. And once it is revealed, it becomes leverage. Because now the person listening knows where pressure will affect you the most. They know what triggers doubt, what creates hesitation, what disrupts your confidence. That knowledge changes everything. You might think you're just being honest. You might believe openness builds trust. But trust without control becomes exposure. And exposure creates risk. Because weakness, once known, does not stay neutral. It can be used in subtle ways. A comment at the right time. A situation designed to push you into discomfort. A reminder that brings back uncertainty when you need clarity. All of it becomes possible once your weak points are visible. Most people walk into this without resistance. They feel safe, so they speak freely. They share more than they should, because it feels natural in the moment. But the moment passes. The information stays. The man who understands this does not reject conversation, but he controls depth. He does not reveal what can later be used to destabilize him. He keeps his vulnerabilities private, not out of fear, but out of awareness. Because once your insecurities are known, they stop being yours alone. Number 4, the future trap. Why talking about your plans gives away control. Plans feel powerful when you speak them out loud. They sound clear, structured, almost real the moment they leave your mouth. But that feeling is misleading, because the moment you start talking about what you intend to do, you give away something you cannot take back. Direction. And direction is one of the most valuable things you can hide. Questions about the future rarely come as threats. They arrive as curiosity, interest, even support. Someone asks where you're heading, what you're building, what your next move looks like. It feels like an opportunity to express vision. So you explain, step by step, what you're planning, what you're aiming for, how you're thinking about it, and without realizing it, you've just made your path visible. Machiavelli emphasized that visible intention creates resistance. The moment people understand where you are going, they begin to position themselves in relation to it. Some will align, some will doubt, and some will quietly prepare against you. None of this happens openly, but it happens. Because once your direction is known, it can be evaluated. And once it is evaluated, it can be interfered with. That interference doesn't always look direct. Sometimes it comes as advice that slows you down. Sometimes it appears as doubt that makes you reconsider. Sometimes it shows up as competition that emerges exactly where you plan to move. All of it becomes possible because your future is no longer hidden. You've exposed the blueprint before the structure was built. There is another layer most people miss. When you speak about plans, you create psychological pressure on yourself. You feel committed to what you said. You feel the need to follow through, even if the situation changes. Now your own words are limiting your flexibility. Instead of adapting, you try to stay consistent. And consistency, in the wrong moment, becomes a weakness. The man who understands this operates differently. He does not rush to describe what has not yet been executed. He keeps his direction internal, refined, and protected, not because he lacks confidence, but because he understands timing. A plan spoken too early becomes exposed. A plan revealed at the right moment becomes unstoppable. That difference is everything, because once your intentions remain unseen, no one can position themselves against them. Number 5, the past extraction. How your history is used against you. They won't ask about your past directly. They guide you into it. A casual question appears, wrapped in curiosity, sometimes even framed as interest in your experience. It feels normal to respond. You begin explaining what happened, how things unfolded, why certain choices were made. It seems harmless, but while you're speaking, something is being built. A profile, not just events, but patterns behind those events. That's where the real extraction happens. Your past becomes valuable not because of what occurred, but because of how you processed it. The language you use, the way you assign responsibility, the moments you emphasize, the parts you skip. All of it reveals how you think under pressure, and thinking patterns can be tracked. Why did that situation collapse? What led you to make that decision? Looking back, what would you change? Each question pulls you deeper into explanation. It feels reflective, even productive. You believe you are simply sharing experience, maybe even showing growth. But at the same time, you are exposing structure that can be studied. Machiavelli viewed past behavior as a map of future action, not because people are predictable in a simple way, but because their internal patterns tend to repeat when placed under similar pressure. Once those patterns are understood, outcomes become easier to anticipate. That anticipation creates leverage. The real impact appears later, when a situation begins to resemble something you've already faced. The person who knows your history is no longer guessing. They already understand how you reacted before, what influenced your decisions, where hesitation appeared, and where mistakes were made. That knowledge changes how they engage with you. They can guide the situation toward familiar pressure points. They can introduce elements that trigger the same responses. They can shape the interaction in a way that leads you toward predictable outcomes. And you won't even notice it happening, because it feels like coincidence. There is another layer beneath this. When you describe your past, you often reveal what remains unresolved. Subtle signals appear in your tone, your pacing, your choice of words. Certain moments carry more weight than others. That weight becomes visible. It shows where your reactions are still influenced by what happened before. The man who understands this does not reject conversation, but he controls what becomes accessible. He does not unfold his entire history in open discussion. He shares selectively, with intention, without exposing the patterns that define how he operates. Because once your past is fully mapped, your future becomes easier to predict. Drop a like on the video and comment "no leaks" if you're locking your position. Number 6. The opinion setup. Why sharing what you think makes you predictable. It rarely feels like a setup. It feels like conversation. Someone asks what you think about a situation, a decision, or a person. The tone is relaxed, almost inviting. There's no urgency, no pressure, just an opening for you to share your perspective. So you speak. You explain your view, your reasoning, your stance. Maybe you expand on it to sound clear and confident. It feels like you're simply expressing yourself. But the moment your thinking becomes visible, it becomes traceable. Not loudly, quietly. Your opinions reveal more than you intend. They show how you interpret situations, what you value, what you reject, what you consider acceptable, and what triggers resistance in your mind. Every explanation you give exposes the structure behind your decisions. And structure can be studied. Do you think that was the right move? How would you handle it? What's your take on this kind of situation? Each question encourages you to lay out your logic step by step. That logic forms a pattern. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that once a pattern is visible, it becomes predictable. Not because you are simple, but because your reasoning follows a structure that others can observe and remember. That observation creates advantage, because once someone understands how you process information, they no longer need to guess how you will react. They can anticipate your response before you even act. And anticipation shapes outcomes. The real issue is not the opinion itself. It is the consistency behind it. When you express your thinking openly, you create a reference point. The next time a similar situation appears, your previous words define how others expect you to respond. Now your future reactions are no longer neutral. They are expected. If you follow the same pattern, you become predictable. If you change direction, you appear inconsistent. Both outcomes reduce your control. There is another layer most people overlook. When your opinions are known, others can guide conversations in ways that lead you toward specific responses. They frame situations in a way that aligns with your usual thinking, subtly pushing you into predictable reactions. You feel like you're choosing freely, but the direction has already been shaped. The man who understands this does not avoid thinking. He limits how much of that thinking becomes visible. He speaks with precision, avoids unnecessary explanation, and protects the patterns that define how he operates. Because once your reasoning becomes easy to follow, your behavior becomes easy to predict. Number 7. The Machiavelli rule. Why silence is the only safe answer. Silence isn't empty. It carries weight most people don't understand. In a moment where a response is expected, where a question is placed directly in front of you, where the natural instinct is to answer, choosing not to speak changes the entire dynamic. Because expectation is broken. Most interactions follow a pattern. A question is asked, an answer follows. That rhythm feels automatic, almost required. People rely on it, they expect it. Remove your response, and the pattern collapses. Now the pressure shifts. Instead of you revealing something, the other person is left without the information they were trying to extract. The space you leave behind becomes uncomfortable for them. not for you. That discomfort is power. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that withholding information creates advantage. The one who speaks less cannot be measured easily. There are no clear signals, no defined position, no visible pattern to follow. That absence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty limits control, because control depends on understanding. When someone cannot understand you, they cannot predict. When they cannot predict you, they cannot position themselves against you. Everything becomes unclear from their side. Most people avoid silence because it feels risky. They believe not answering makes them look weak, unsure, or unprepared. That belief pushes them to speak, even when speaking costs them position. But that instinct is exactly what keeps them exposed. The man who understands this treats silence as a tool, not a default weakness. He chooses when to respond and when to hold back. He recognizes which questions are designed to extract information and refuses to participate in that exchange. This is not avoidance. It is control of information flow. Because once you stop answering automatically, every word you do say becomes intentional. Nothing is given freely. Nothing is revealed without purpose. That precision changes how others interact with you. They become careful. They hesitate before asking. They adjust their approach because they are no longer certain they will get what they want. That shift creates distance, and distance protects you. Over time, this becomes your standard way of operating. Not silent in every situation, but selective. You speak when it serves you, and remain silent when it protects you. That balance is where control exists. Because once silence becomes an option you control, no question can force you into exposure anymore. What you've just seen isn't about avoiding questions. It's about controlling what leaves your mouth. Because once something is said, it no longer belongs to you. It becomes something others can read, store, and use when the moment is right. Most people never notice this. They answer quickly, explain fully, and think honesty protects them. In reality, it exposes them. Control was never about saying more. It was about knowing when not to. And once you understand that, every interaction changes. You stop reacting automatically. You stop filling silence. You stop giving away pieces of yourself without purpose. That's where your advantage begins. If this shifted how you see conversations, don't leave it here. Drop a like on the video so this reaches others who are still exposing themselves without realizing it. Comment "no leaks" to lock this mindset in. Subscribe if you're ready to operate with precision instead of impulse. And share this with someone who still believes every question deserves an answer. Stay sharp, and remember, not everything asked needs to be answered.